Hello everyone, welcome back to Study with RK. In the previous video, we already discussed about single dwelling process, which is one type of wastewater treatment. For those who have not seen the video, I have put the link in the description box. Today in this video lecture, we will study about another type of wastewater treatment and disposal, that is municipal treatment. And it includes four methods: primary treatment, secondary treatment, advanced means tertiary treatment, and final treatment. Generally, municipal wastewater is defined as wastewater from households or a mixture of wastewater from households and of industrial origin, as well as precipitation of water. Municipal wastewater treatment is the process of ejecting the harmful pollutants from wastewater. The pollutants are treated by various methods like primary treatment, secondary treatment, tertiary treatment, final treatment process, and solid processing. There was a time when there was a natural treatment process in lakes and rivers was sufficient for our basic needs, but due to increase in pollutions and the pollutants, unnatural innovations are being implemented to solve the basic crisis. And the fundamental process of the wastewater treatment plant is to boost up the natural phenomenon of by which it can refine water. Industrial wastewater may contain contaminations which cannot be ejected by customary sewage treatment. It needs more advanced method to filter the impurities, which involves primary treatment. Here, primary treatment of municipal wastewater treatment can be followed by the first stage is the deposition stage. The secondary treatment of municipal wastewater treatment is plotted to reduce the biological pollutants which are executed by humans' waste, food, detergents, and soaps. Tertiary treatment process include further reduced BOD by removal of nutrients such as phosphorus and nitrogen. If the environment is overburdened with consumption of organic contaminants, then it can reduce the level of oxygen in the water. So the tertiary treatment process is most important. Final treatment process to disinfect and dispose of effluent, and solid processing stabilize solids, dewater it, and dispose of solids. First, start with primary treatment. Primary treatment removes materials that will either float or readily settle out by gravity. It includes the physical process of screening, grit removal, and sedimentations. Let's understand this mechanism with diagram. As sewage or wastewater enters a plant for treatment, it flows through a screen. Here, screens are made up of long and closely spaced narrow metal bars. They block floating debris such as wood, rags, and other bulky objects that could clog pipes or pumps. And after sewage has been screened, it passes into the grit chamber, where sand, small stones settle to the bottom. After screening is completed and grit has been removed, sewage still contains organic and inorganic matter along with other suspended solids. So these solids are minute particles that can be removed from sewage in a sedimentation tank, V-shaped sedimentation tank. The settled solid known as raw or primary sludge. Approximately 25 to 50% of the incoming biochemical oxygen, means BOD, and 50 to 70% of the total suspended solid objects and 60 to 70% oil and grease are removed by primary treatment. Some organic compounds made from nitrogen and phosphorus, heavy metals carried out with solid objects are thrown out during primary sedimentation process, and this sedimentation is carried out in septic tanks similar to individual treatment process or makes use of two-story V-shaped tanks called Imhoff's tank. Primary treatments is must for cleaning of any wastewater or sewage, and the water obtained after primary treatment is not consumed by humans, but it can be suitable for irrigation. Here, water from the primary treatment process is brought for secondary treatment. Secondary treatment process relies on the microbial degradation for organic compound, and hence it is also called biological treatment process. So secondary treatment removes the soluble organic matters that escapes primary treatment. It also removes more of the suspended solids, and removal is usually accomplished by biological process. That's why it is also called as biological treatment process. And the oxidation methods employed are filtration by means of trickling filter, aeration by activated sludge process, and oxidation ponds or stabilization pond. First one is filtration by means of trickling filter. Trickling filter is simply a huge circular tank with the radius of greater than 50 feet, having size of 30 to 50 meters and filled with a deep bed of stone. In center is the rod known as distribution arm, and tank is completely filled with large stones. Settled sewage is spread continuously over the top of the stones and trickles to the bottom, where it is collected for further treatment. This will give lot of space, so when water is spread on this bed, it can easily flow through entire height of tank stone, and here helps water from trickle so that it takes time to reach down and hence comes in contact with oxygen. This is how oxygen is provided and therefore called trickling filter. It is not true filter and does not sieve solid particles. Here liquid contain dissolved and extremely small particles which are degraded by microorganisms. Microorganisms need the correct balance of oxygen and food supply, as a result of which water is not pumped high volume in order to prevent washing of microorganisms. The sewage slowly moves through the porous bed and effluent is collected at the bottom. Next, as the wastewater trickles down, bacteria gather and multiply on the stones. And the steadily flow of sewage over this growth allow the microorganism to absorb the dissolved oxygen, thus lowering the biochemical oxygen demand (BOD) of sewage. Air circulating upwards through the space among these stones, and it provides sufficient oxygen. So for the metabolic process, and which provides home for heterogeneous microbial communities, which includes aerobic, anaerobic and facultative bacteria, algae, fungi, protozoa, as well as other organisms such as insect and larvae. And this assembly of microorganisms and their extracellular secretion is referred to as biofilm or Zugliel film. Bill Kosterian coined this term biofilm in 1978. And this biofilm is composed of extrapolysaccharide which helps in cohesion and adhesion of cell. It also gives protection against toxic compounds and environmental stream. And as a result of this biofilm, the efficiency of filtration is reduced, and now trickling filter is shut down for few days and requires cleaning and changes in position of stone. So 2 or more trickling filters may be connected in series, and sewage can be recirculated in order to increase treatment efficiency. Hence, some drawback of these mechanisms, like simply an inexpensive treatment system, is having nutrient overload which produce excess slime which reduce the aeration and purification rate, and also periodic removal of filter bed is required, and cold temperature may reduce the effectiveness of this treatment as the metabolic activity is reduced. So the another biological treatment process is activated sludge process. It's an aerobic secondary sewage treatment process, and it was first developed by Arden and Lockett in 1914 in England. When sewage is subjected to agitation and aeration, suspended in colloidal particles from a floc which is biologically active due to active mass of microorganisms, and that is called activated sludge. This activated sludge is subsequently separated from the treated sewage by sedimentation, which is carried out in tanks containing primary effluent. Sludge or sewage enters a tank whose dimensions depends upon an area available, and it's an open tank ranging from few meters, not very deep or not very shallow. At the one end there is facility for forced aeration, that is contents it's forcefully aerated by pumps. Again, number and size of aerators depends on area of tanks. 5 physical components, that is aeration tank, aeration source, secondary clarifiers, activated sludge outflow line and effluent outflow line. Let's discuss with diagram. Here, settled sewage mixed with fresh sludge that is recirculated from the secondary clarifier is introduced into the aeration tank. This is aeration tank. So here oxygen is introduced into the system. Then aeration source which provide pure oxygen or compressed air. Under such oxygenated conditions, microorganisms thrive in forming an active and healthy suspension of biological solids, mostly bacteria, called activated sludge. About 6 hours of detention is provided in the aeration tank, and this gives the microbes enough time to absorb dissolved organic matter from the sewage and reducing the BOD, biochemical oxygen demand. The mixture then flows from the aeration tank into the secondary clarifier. This is secondary clarifier. So where activated sludge settle out by gravity, and then clear water is skimmed from the surface of the clarifier and disinfected and discharged as a secondary effluent, and the sludge is pumped out from a hopper that at the bottom of the tank. About 30% of the sludge is recirculated and back into this aeration tank. Then here it is mixed with the primary effluent, and this recirculation is a key feature of the activated sludge process. An important characteristics of activated sludge is recycling of large population of biomass which stabilize organic matter in very short time, and this biomass is also called block, which is consisting of mixed species of bacteria producing polysaccharide gummy secretion. It's called zooglea. Zooglial organisms is Zooglea remigera, and the retention time for the sewage in aeration tank is 4 to 8 hours. Advantages like it gives clean sparkling treated liquid, the effluent is free from bad smell and odor, it's carry out effective stabilization of organic matter, and some disadvantages like unsuitable for industrial waste as denitrification of industrial waste require anaerobic conditions, large volume generated may be difficult to dispose of, and a common problem in this process is filamentous bulking is usually caused by excessive growth of filamentous microorganisms. So another secondary treatment is oxidation ponds. Oxidation ponds, also called lagoons and stabilization pond. It's a large shallow ponds designed to treat wastewater through the interaction of sunlight, bacteria and algae. Here algae grow using energy from the sun and carbon dioxide and inorganic compounds released by bacteria in the water. And during the process of photosynthesis, the algae release oxygen needed by aerobic bacteria. Algae remaining in the pond effluent can be removed by filtration or by a combination of chemical treatment and settling. Stabilization ponds are the preferred wastewater treatment process in developing countries due to low cost, low maintenance. So this is balanced by larger land. Land requirement. Sewage is treated with tulle, algae and bacteria, and the oxygen is more at the surface than at the deeper region, but not anaerobic, and hence 3 different populations like strict aerobes, facultative anaerobes and anaerobic at bottom of the bottoms are found, and the retention period is about 7 days, which may even range from 2 to 40 days. Heterotrophic bacteria degrade organic materials within the ponds, producing cellular materials, mineral products and support the growth of algae. Then inactivation or removal of pathogen in oxidation pond is controlled by number of factors including temperature, sunlight, pH, absorption or entrapment by stable solids. Then only advantage is very friendly, that is only storage required, no engineering, no machinery, no aeration and no monitoring required. Then third one is tertiary or advanced treatment. Here secondary effluent may be treated further by several tertiary processes like suspended solid removal, carbon adsorption, ion exchange, reverse osmosis, chemical oxidation and nutrient removal. Suspended solids removal, there are basically 3 methods used for such a solid removal process. This one coagulation is carried out using alum, lime, polyelectrolyte and another chemical agents, and filtration is carried out by sand filters, membrane filters, etc. and microscreening removes 70 to 90% suspended solid. Here carbon adsorption, second one is carbon adsorption. Activated carbons have been widely used as adsorbents in wastewater treatment to remove taste and odor causing organisms. In ion exchange, It's a chromatographic technique is used for separation of molecules based on reversible exchange of ion in solution. Cation exchange is negatively charged and will attack positively charged cations, and anion exchanger is positively charged and attracts negatively charged anions. Then reverse osmosis. In wastewater treatment, contaminated water is placed in contact with suitable membranes at excess very high osmotic pressure. Under this condition, water with a very small amount of contaminant permeates the semi-permeable membranes, and dissolved contaminants are concentrated in the wastewater compartment. And the remaining concentrate, which in small fractions is discarded, and purified water is obtained from another compartment. Chemical oxidation, it is done by two ways. First one is chlorination, second one is ozonization. Chlorination used for the purpose of disinfections, reduction in BOD, elimination of color, odor, oxidation of metal ions and harmful cyanides. Ozonization reacts with unsaturated organics on wastewater and helps in its degradation. Then removal of nutrient from wastewater is most important operation because this causes eutrophication, means excessive algal growth. More important is removal of phosphorus and nitrogen. Process of removal of phosphorus are chemical precipitation, activated sludge process or reverse osmosis or oxidation ponds, etc. And process used for the removal of nitrogens are nitrification, denitrification or ion exchange, etc. Last one is final treatment. The basic aim of this treatment is to disinfect water before released on water bodies, colonies and communities. Disinfections of wastewater is necessary for the protection of public health, where the reservoir waters are used for the purpose such as the downstream water supply, recreation, irrigation, etc. It is also known as chemical method since chemicals are used. Most important method is chlorination. We already discussed our previous parts, and this is brought about by adding certain salts of hypochlorite for chlorinations. Excessive chlorine is removed by dechlorinations, as high amount of chlorine may lead to pungent smell, vomiting sensation and nausea, etc. Then apart from chlorine, ozone and UV light is becoming more prevalent as current research has proved the term as post-aeration process. So the post-aeration is accomplished by mechanical means. It means that after chlorination and ozonization, etc., water is having extremely low concentration of oxygen, and as a result of this living system starvation and will die, and so such water before release require aeration disposal into surface water is practiced along with the land applications, which is a feasible alternative. So this is the various type of municipal wastewater treatment. After this all process, solid waste processing must be important, so we will study it in the next video session. So get regular updates and notification, subscribe Study with RK.